All right, folks, a recent data released by the Caribbean Examinations Council, CXC, has revealed that there is a 7 percentage point decrease in the pass rate for math when compared to last year. With us now is senior lecturer in math in the math department at Jamaica University College, Mrs. Cheryl Jones-Brown. Good morning, ma'am. How are you? Welcome to Smile.
Good morning, Neville. Good morning.
Well, I think I said the region, so let's start with how Jamaica did. How did we do in Jamaica?
Well, the CXC results for the Jamaican has not been released as yet in terms of our actual percentage.
So what about the region, 7% overall? But
7% decrease from last year, so the region is now 36%. So you can imagine that is certainly poor.
36% of students
across the region
pass math.
Grades for math, yeah.
So it means 36 out of every 100 students that sat the exam.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we know what the passing grades were? Are we looking at mostly threes? Are we looking at ones? Are we looking at ones, twos, threes? Have we disaggregated that yet?
I think they have some breakdown, but I know that most of the grades is probably grade 2. Only 9% of that 36 is grade 1. So you can imagine, wow. That is. Mm-hmm.
There's been a marginal decrease in English too, but only like 1 or 2%. Yes. What is happening with the math? Tell me what you think is happening, Mrs. Jones-Brown. I want to say this is dismal. Would that be an alarmist statement to make?
No, I think you're right on target. It's not good at all. I think fundamentally, though, as the teachers across the nation would agree, it starts with the earlier years in math. And of course, that exam that assigns them into 4 categories after they have done the PEP exam has some students moving on to high school, even though they're assigned at the beginning level, as well as the developing level. So even though the students have those assignments in terms of the PEP assignments, you have the other 2 categories, which are the highly proficient and proficient. Those students are still placed in the high schools. So you have the teachers at those high schools now having to contend with filling those gaps that were left out. And you can imagine they are now trying to complete the rest of the national standards curriculum while at the same time filling the gaps that were left out from the primary level.
But what are the options? I mean, what are the options based on where they score? If you don't move them to high school, where do they go?
Right. Good point.
Right.
I would think, though, that like an intervention, the PEP assessment begins at grade 4.
Right.
And then, of course, grade 5 and then grade 6. I think probably targeted attention should be paid as soon as we find a student in grade 4 that is at the developing level and the beginners level, so that we can focus on those weaknesses and try to address them. I don't think there's a national initiative to push towards fixing those issues at the grade 4 and grade 5. And by the time they transition to high school, the teachers at the high school have this to contend with. So I think a more focused approach, as the results are found out from grade 4 and grade 5, could assist with of course, eliminating or minimizing these low percentage passes.
Mrs. Jones-Brown, interesting. You said 36%. But I'm looking at the CAPE results, and it says pure math is 86% unit 1, pure math unit 2 is 94%, integrated math is 73%. So why in 5th form it look like we're not doing what we're supposed to do, but then you jump to 6th form and everybody doing the right thing all of a sudden? What's the difference there?
Of course, you know that those students who choose to do math are probably those who have grades 1 and grade 2. So in terms of percentage, we interpret it now, okay, the cohort that has a grade 1 or grade 2 has moved on and is doing what they like to do and they're already good at. So you would imagine that those percentages will be higher at that level.
Makes sense.
Indeed, so it's just those who are already good at it, going ahead and furthering. So you would compare.
In other words, less people would be taking math at CAPE than did at CSEC, which is what you said.
Definitely,
and well as opted in and qualified. And they're good grades.
Okay.
Jones-Brown, I have a theory, Well, I've long held this theory. Jamaicans are afraid of math. I don't know where it come from. I did really poorly in math. Like if I did follow myself, I would think I wouldn't end up anywhere because I was very bad at math. My mother before me, my sister, we all had the same math phobia. And I think that, I don't know if that's what prevents you from being able to give it your best because you're afraid of it in the first place. But are we still having that challenge where children are intimidated by mathematics, or is it that we are not teaching via the proper methods?
All right.
Do we need to relook at how we're teaching them?
Right. So the problem is twofold, and I'm glad you have enunciated the point that your mom and you and some other generations, usually in some of the homes where the children are going out to do the math, the talk in the house is, okay, I wasn't good at math, and many people even joke about it when they're doing presentations. I did everything else well, but not math, and they find it funny. But so that's a little bit of the problem. But also because that phobia develops, for example, as you said, the teaching strategies that probably a child encounters while going through school may not be conducive to how they learn. So then that dislike for the math, because their results are poor when the teacher marks there, but that dislike for the math propagates itself. So indeed, that initial feeling of not being good at math, and then of course not producing the results, it compounds itself as the years go by. And remember, math is a subject that if you do not have that foundation and you proceed to do math, of course, the house will crumble because the foundation is weak. So yes, there's a phobia, and there's also an issue with the teaching strategies. Math cannot be taught with just simple procedures and rules, because persons have different learning styles, of course. And of course, you have to try to give children hands-on material so they can interact with the math and make connections. But yes, indeed, some teachers teach it abstractly, and they just teach and follow rules. And everybody don't learn by rules.
Yes.
Some persons shun rules. Step 1, step 2, learning styles play a big part. So yes.
Especially now, in this day and age.
Technology.
Yeah.
And the children are not, of course, as focused as they used to be in our times. And what I found as well, nowadays the social media has, of course, major distraction. And a part of it, we must say, is the fact that some children are staying up late at nights and parents are not aware of what's happening. And when I interact with the in-service teachers, those who are currently teaching at the high school level, they complain about the children in class being lethargic, tired. Sometimes they come to school Monday morning and they're resting and sleeping. And when we ask them what is wrong, Miss, I was up late. And when we interrogate them a little bit more, they were on their devices. And then when they say, Mommy never saw you, they say, no, I just locked the door.
Mommy can't sleep.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, because math. As Sim said, some people think they just can't deal with it. But if you look at the other subjects, 80% human and social biology, 76% in bio, 64% in chemistry, physics 72%. You would think that from them here biology and chemistry, them run go hide. But they did brilliantly there. So I kind of agree with her, and I'm not knocking any teacher here. But maybe it's how we look at math overall, not just the students.
Right. Indeed, some teachers.
And you mentioned the social media as a distraction. A lot of folks are saying, given where technology is going, the social media can help the teachers, because a lot of kids are solving concepts with math based on TikTok videos that have gone viral. So there's a way to also incorporate it to help.
Certainly, Simone, but guess what? When I visit the schools, even though, yes, TikTok and all those things can help in terms of how you, for example, find a video on a certain concept that may be taught, many schools don't have internet. So where the government had the devices policy where each teacher was given a device, it compounds the issue. If you're at school and you're not able to use and log into, for example, a math software, GeoGebra, Mathagon, Polypad, you'd want to do your interactions with the children, but many schools don't have that facility. Other schools do have, though, because I've been to schools where I see the teacher comes in with their laptop and they just plug in their HDMI cable and the lesson begins. But those schools are few.
Yeah.
Other schools, and timetabling is also an issue. If a teacher has a class from 8 to 9 and she's assigned to room 1, So she takes the projector to the class and everything. For her to pull down to go to our next class, 9 to 10, and that is in room 20. The logistics of how the classroom is set up and the timetabling, the teacher probably will just put down the projector and walk quickly over to room 20 so as not to waste the time.
Yeah, we have to go. Final question. You're at a teacher's college. A lot of math teachers there?
Right, yes. So the math cohort at the Jamaica University College, it's a lot of student teachers who are there, and we also get in-service students to train. And as Simone was hinting on the use of technology, a part of every year we have the program where all of our lessons, our micro-teaching episodes, they must integrate technology in how we deliver the lesson.
All right. All right. Thanks.
Excellent. That's good to hear.
Thanks a lot. And thanks for speaking with us this morning. God bless you. And thanks for your service. We can't do without you. Senior lecturer in the math department at the Jamaica University College, Cheryl Jones-Brown.
You know, you afraid of maths to do it?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But it got easier for me. The older I got.
Really?
After I leave school, it got easier for me.
If you show me an Excel sheet, I get tired.
Yeah. I was going to say, we have a supposedly teacher here from Jamaica too, but...
No, that no...
I don't know I don't know him teach. After the break, folks, Deandra Coates shares her story of triumph. Triumph despite adversity.
Oh, Clive, why don't you do yourself?